already, we do have our panelist, that is Bob Musinguzi, who is our CSD manager, so the depository at the Uganda Securities Exchange. So everything concerning the custody, the operational framework of how your shares move from the system, how they're deposited, the trading, all that is managed by Mr. Bob Musinguzi, who shall later be meeting. Also on the call, we already have our panelists, both Jovia Bossa, who will also be meeting, and also Penklin Tugenamasko, who is also here. So that means we already have everyone that we need to be able to get started. So I'll invite John Were. He's our business development manager, the organizer, the person who's always behind the scenes to ensure that this happens. I would invite you to start up with an opening prayer, and we should get started.
Thank you, Susan. Our dear guests, let's pray. Dear Lord God, we want to thank you for the gift of life that you've given to each of us and our dear families. We don't take it for granted. We want to thank you for the opportunity that you have given us to work and to make money for ourselves, our children, and our children's children, and above all for the various countries and nations where we originate. We want to thank you for this wonderful opportunity to gather and learn about the various investment opportunities, and this particular one about shares. May you come and guide us as we learn, and above all, as we go out of this webinar to go and execute whatever we shall learn. We pray all this in the name of the Almighty God. Thank you. Over to you, Susan.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, John. So we will get started. For those that are new here, usually what we do, we usually start with a simple quiz that we usually want to understand who are our guests on our call, where they are at, so that we do not assume that everyone is at the same level. But it's also an interactive game, quiz and game, if I would call it that, just to know where we are at. So I'm going to start the presentation. Maybe let me quickly just get the link for those that it's a game on Mentimeter. So I'm going to quickly drop in the chat section the link for those that are not able to use the QR code that's going to come up on the screen shortly. So if you go in the chat section, I've just dropped in that particular link. It's Mentimeter. You just click on it and you'll be able to go and view the specific game. But for those that can be able to start, I'm going to start the presentation right now. And then it was going to bring that QR code on the side there that you're seeing, so you can use your phone to actually scan for those that are using a laptop, and then start giving me responses. And I already see the responses coming through. Over 30 of you have already started responding. And the first question is, do you currently have a securities central depository account? And the majority are saying yes, 2 are saying no. The 2 are also saying not sure. Yes, over 50 of you are responding. Really, really, really thank you for those responses. Yeah, thank you. Keep them coming. Yeah, over 37 of the 52. Really, thank you for responding. I'm going to now go to the next question. So that means the majority of us already have a securities account. Have you updated your SCD account details in the last 2 years? The majority are saying no, we have not updated our details in the last 2 years. That means you've not changed your bank account. That means your NIN is in the system. Are you sure that your NIN is already in the system? There are those people that, whereby, the SCD system started all the way from around I think it was around 2010, 2011, 2013, 2011, 2010, that's when the Securities Central Depository System began. And some of you could still be having your LC's chairman's identification. So the majority are saying we have not updated. So if there are certain details that you'd want to update, please come through. How many of us are still holding share certificates? You're saying me, I still have a share certificate. I bought Stanbic Bank Uganda. I have Uganda Clays. They are saying, some people are saying their shares on my certificates were already deposited. Some are saying the other option is I've never owned a share certificate. Then actually about 3 people still have a share certificate. Majority are saying I've never owned a share certificate. That means the majority of us are people that have most likely bought shares during the securities central depository system when it came. Yeah, but we also have we have 4 people that still have their share certificate. Those people, we shall be speaking to you today as well on how we can ensure that those certificates are deposited into your SCD. Then how would you describe your investment experience? That for you, I've never invested. Some of us are saying maybe I'm considering investing. Others are saying I've invested for less than 2 years. The majority are saying that we have invested for more than 2 years. So Jovia, Pinklin and Bob, pay attention. We have some people that really are experienced, but also we have those that have never invested as well. We have majority that are here that are also saying that they are considering investing. Yes, which is a very, very good thing. Yeah, so very many of us are considering also investing. Also a significant, also a good number, also as though it's low, they are saying they've never invested. There are those ones who are saying that for them that for less than 2 years they've been investing, but the majority of us at least now have invested for more than 2 years. So it's good to have you here. Then what is the main reason for investing? Do you want to grow your wealth? Do you want to save for retirement? Do you want to earn a dividend? Do you want to preserve your money against inflation? Many of people are saying growing my wealth. The second in lead there is earning dividend income. Then preserving my money against inflation is coming up as the third. No one is saying, the fourth down here is right now is saving for retirement. So most of us are really saying we want to grow that wealth, A significant number of us are saying we want to grow wealth, which is very good. Thank you for those responses. Then have you ever made an investment decision based on a tip from a friend, social media, or WhatsApp group? What led you to start? Most of us are saying yes, we have gotten a tip from a friend. We have gotten a tip from social media. We have also gotten a tip from WhatsApp group. So the majority of us are saying yes. There's also a number of us that are saying no, but the significant number are saying that for us, we have been talking to friends, social media, WhatsApp group. I mean, if we can recommend one another for hairstyles, where to get a shoe, and all these other things, I mean, why not even in the area of investment? What would you do if the share price of a company you own suddenly falls by 15%? What would you do? Would you sell immediately? Would you buy more shares? Wait and assess the reasons for the decline? I'm not sure. Yeah. I want to say that at least we have not seen those ones who are saying sell immediately. I want to thank you that you're all confident investors. A significant majority are saying that we would wait and assess the reasons for the decline. A second runner-up there is I would buy more shares. Yeah, so but at least we did not have anyone saying sell immediately, which is a very good one. So at least we have people that are confident about our markets. Then in one word, what is the biggest challenge you or investors face when investing in shares? What has been your biggest challenge as you have invested, or you have maybe heard from investors? What has been the experience? What has been their challenge? Research, information. Someone is specifically saying correct information. Then someone is saying timing the market, and the spreads, uncertainty, inflation. Yeah, those are coming up. Risks, low liquidity, updated information, decision making, Uncertainty and risks and research are really coming out as really when to buy and when to sell. Some people are saying the timing, the dividends, low dividends. Some people are saying when the dividend is small, yeah, the insights, then fluctuating market prices. Then some of us are saying that we have experienced actually there are no supply. We want to buy, but we are not seeing supply. Yeah. Limited information is still coming up. No supply is really becoming one of those few equities on the Uganda Securities Exchange. You're saying, Banai, we have bought all the stocks, we have them, we just need more. Some of us are saying the SCD portal, we have experienced challenges with the SCD portal. Okay, we understand it. Then the dynamism of the market. I really thank you. We have really gotten good responses. Then facts backed with data. You're having a challenge on that. Wow. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yes. So really volatility research, uncertainty, no supply. A few equities have really come up as one of those challenges. Thank you so much. Then deciding, some people are saying we just can't decide which one are we partaking, which are we not. Yeah, thank you so much. Then have you ever regretted an investment decision that you have made here on the Uganda Securities Exchange? Yeah, the majority are saying yes. Now the majority are saying no. Have you ever regretted an investment decision that you made on the USE? So the majority are saying no. So at least we are glad. I partake that these are some Mumeme shareholders, MTN, Stanbic in there. Then the ones who are saying yes are the ones maybe who have some, have a Nika Uganda clays. Maybe that's the only thing in your portfolio. Yeah, sorry about that, but we're going to be talking about it today and how we can be able to ensure that we make really nice, really great investment decisions. Yeah. Which investment habit would you like to improve going forward? Like after this session, you're saying that for me, I really want to researching before investing, patience, diversification. I want to be a better record keeper. I want to be good at long-term planning and long-term investment because many of us, we want money like the next day. Want to buy shares today and tomorrow we should be selling. Researching before investing, majority are saying. And the second runner-ups there are saying that long-term planning, really doing really deliberate planning to plan better for the long term. Then diversification comes in next, and then record keeping, then patience. So that means the majority of us are already patient, so which is really, really good. So it comes to the end of our presentation. We really got over 81 people, 80 responses that have come through, and really want to just thank you. So I'm just going to quickly end this, and then we shall go straight into the discussion of the day. But thank you so much for that feedback, and I'm sure Bob and Jovi and Pinklin have really gotten where most of us are at right now, and therefore when they're responding, they're going to respond in regards to actually the feedback that you have given, because it also directly goes into the questions that we have framed for this morning's discussion. But quickly, just to go through, I already introduced Bob. He's SCD manager. And then both Jovia works with SBG Securities. That is one of our member brokers on the Uganda Securities Exchange. So in the event that you are interested in trading in shares, in trading in unit trusts, there are people to go. So that means if you have a Stanbic bank account, and you're a Stanbic banker, that means SBG Securities should be able to take care of you because it's a subsidiary of the bank, and Jovia will be here to be able to take note of anything that you'd want answered. But also, I may be in a special way for Jovia. Jovia was my first manager in this particular market. When I came into the market, Jovia was my first manager. So I really want to thank her for the training she gave with me. And then Penklin is also a friend in the market. We work on a day-to-day closely, especially with the bond side. So I'm glad to have you, Penklin. Penklin works with Old Mutual Uganda, and she's a business development manager there. She's a trader, so equities trading, bond trading, unit trusts. Please reach out to Penklin. So for those who have issues and you want to have any requests that you would want to make, I'll be dropping their contacts at the end of the session so that you can be able to reach out to them. So we shall be able to go straight into the discussion for today, and we shall start off with Jovia. Jovia, you have been a broker for such a long time. I think now you're almost 15 plus years in the market, Jovi. But what have you seen? What behaviors have you seen or have you observed in our market that concern you in regards to how investors do behave? What are those behaviors that you have seen for the past 15 years? And you're saying, these are concerning. Maybe if investors did this, it could be a bit better. Over to you, Jovia. You can unmute your mic.
Thank you so much, Susan. Morning, everyone on the call. I hope I can be heard. Can you hear me?
Yes, clear, loud and clear.
Right. Thank you for that introduction as well. And thank you for the opportunity to talk to our dear investors. And actually really made my work easy because from the quiz, the whole that answers were coming in, that's where like some of the common mistakes are. And like you said, common mistakes. These are the simple, common mistakes that people do and they might not even be aware of. Starting with number 2 on the quiz. Most of the investors here haven't updated their details. That's a mistake that clients do. And how does it affect you as an investor? So when it comes to dividend payment, that means you will not receive your money. And then clients will get back to us. How come I'm not receiving my dividends? And when you come to follow up with the registrar, you find that the details are not updated. Maybe they changed phone numbers, or some of them, especially when it came to buying MTN, they were using numbers that are not theirs. So after that, they never updated their details. So it's a big mistake and it's affecting our clients here because they're not receiving their dividends, which affects them. Because remember, we all invest so that we can get to receive these dividends. As an investor, entitled to that dividend. So kindly, we encourage our investors to update your details. And then another one is another common mistake actually that I see on a daily basis, and most of them say it. It's a hearsay. Just because I've had this person, Susan is investing, Franklin is investing in this, let me also go for it. You haven't done your research, you haven't done the information, you haven't gone to your broker to talk to them. Just because a friend of yours have told you how they say, MTN is a good deal, please come and buy. Umeme is doing this, so you also go for it, bandwagon. And actually, we saw that mainly when it came to the MTN IPO. So many investors came on board just because I see adverts and they know nothing about the market. Okay? They all came in board and they bought shares without knowing how the market operates, how they benefit, how they can be affected, how they can make losses, how they can avoid the losses. And me as a broker, how does this affect me actually? So after that, they would come to our offices making noise. You guys are thieves, you stole my money. I bought shares worth this right now. Look, immediately the price dip. Right now, the price is this. So that's a common mistake that we investors on the call need to avoid. And then there's also another one, common one that you mentioned. You know, we've gone digital, like you mentioned, from 2010, we've gone digital. So whoever still has a share certificate, come and update your details. Every AGM, companies announce. If you still have a certificate, you're going to Securities Exchange has announcements on the newspapers everywhere. But still, this is a common mistake that we are not doing. We don't want to update our certificates. Like we want to hold it and take it like gold, even others have it on our frame in the houses. Really, we've moved. We're in that digital era. So investors on this call that I saw that still have share certificates at the end of this will kindly come and update, because how does that also like affect us as brokers? Let me say, time rich money you want to sell, you won't be able to sell. First of all, the process is so long for immobilization because it has to go through various stages, first verification, second, third. So you even end up by the time your shares are being immobilized, the price has even dropped. So it will affect you. So kindly come and do what? Come and immobilize your shares in case you still hold the share certificate. Then another one, another common mistake that I've seen that clients buy and hold for a long time. So this doesn't make the rule of buy low and sell high come to play. How? Because you're going to buy at a low price. Let me give an example like those who bought Stanbic when it was at 20. Stanbic shot up to 76 or 80. Honestly, if you bought at 20, at least pick out some profit and do what? And get the gain. And when the price drops, you buy back. So this is a problem. We say client buy and hold for long, the price will appreciate nothing. They are not selling. So it affects us because there won't be liquidity in the market because clients are just doing what? Are just holding their investment and they don't want to sell. And then another one that I would say is that the common mistake, another one is that clients, you come and invest and put all your money in one stock. You know, they say, like, do not put all your eggs in one basket. Let me give an example. There's a new client that came on board because I want to give practical examples since I'm in the market, things that happen on a daily basis. He came when Umeme announced that triple to a dividend. So he came and put in a lot of money. It was in millions, more than 50. Everything. He did not diversify. We told him, like, maybe you put some in Stanbic. And like, no, me, I want to remember I've had this. That's like hearsay. So everything, every penny, put it in the it's not like it's not bad, but right now the price has dipped and it's stuck with the money. So yeah, Susan, those are some of the common mistakes that we see in our market. Yes, maybe I submit.
Thank you so much, Jovi, for that. Maybe our guests are saying that we should be showing our faces. So Pinklin, we will be coming up shortly. So our guests are saying, please let's show our faces so that so that they can trust us as really as their brokers and the market. Yeah, even Jovia and Bob. So all of us, let's prepare to at least show our faces. Maybe Jovia hinted on something, Pinklin, about hot tips, isn't it? Someone is told that, by the way, Umeme is the stock, Stanbic is the stock, and then they just come with that in their head, and they have not even done proper research in regards to what is actually happening with maybe a broker. How do you see this on the market, and what does this typically cost the investor? Pinklin?
Thank you, Susan.
Mm.
I hope I'm audible enough, able to see my face.
No, not yes, now we can be able to see you. Yes. Thank you. Mm.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, Susan and everyone on call. Thank you for making time for this. We really appreciate it, interacting with you. Yes, as per the survey that we had, most of the investors on call said that, they invested because they had had a tip from colleagues or social media, any other source. So, and now a millennial would say that is formal. No one wants to miss out. They want to be involved. And that's a good thing. And so because of that, one misses out even on doing the due diligence about the investment that they are to take on, because before you make any investment, you need to do research so that you're informed about what particular investment you're going in, how you're going to benefit. And that way you're in the know of how the investment works. So for shares, particularly, if you come in blindly because you've had everyone talk about it, you've not done research about it, given that the share prices are volatile, they go up and they go down. You might jump in at the point when the share price has actually reached its peak and you end up losing the money, especially if you find you've bought in the shares at the time when the prices have really reached so high that they can't even go beyond that level. And in the end, you're going to be losing out money. And then also because of following such tips, because now everyone on social media is entitled to an opinion, and you end up following up one. So you'll find that because you've gone with that particular tip and the prices have dropped, you'll end up missing out on the investment opportunities that would actually have given you long-term returns if particularly had done research about those other companies or stocks, and then you'll find you're losing out money that way. And then also, Susan, I think we need to appreciate and understand that investment is not only a financial decision, but then also an emotional decision. Sometimes we invest in a particular stocks because maybe we're at a certain point in life where we feel that, yes, I can now venture into these other investments. And because of that, for example, you went by a tip and then the prices dropped. I assure you, one will even go into stress. They are going to get a psychological toll on them because they feel that, they will lose confidence in the market, first of all, especially if it is their first investment. They did make research. It was their hard-earned money, and they put it into a stock and the price drops. That will affect their confidence in the market, and then also will lose morale to make future investments, even if they've done a good research about it. So it's good that once you've been tipped off of any investment, it's best that you also do due diligence on your end so that you're comfortable of the investment that you're undertaking and aware of any risks, if any. Thank you, Susan. I wish to submit.
Thank you. Maybe just to add on to that, Penklin, there's Elizabeth who is saying that when can you know the best time when the share price is low and when can one buy? I mean, I think she's asking about maybe about timing in the market and just knowing how does she enter, and is the price today the best price? For example, if it is Cipla Uganda, sorry, Quality Chemicals, or maybe Stanbic Bank, that the price today, is it the best price for her today? Yes, thank you. Yeah.
So, all right. So to know the best time to buy and when to sell, I believe all brokers on call, and speaking for Old Mutual, we have a mailing list from where we share market updates about how the prices have been moving on the market on a daily basis, and any other news that may affect the share price. So also you need to engage the brokers or your advisors so they advise you on which stocks you can buy and at what time. And we're able to do that. So it's good that you always engage with licensed brokers or financial advisors to advise you on which stocks you can buy and when you can buy and when you can sell them. That way, it will, of course, at the end of the day, share prices remain volatile. They'll go up and they go down. I may recommend a stock today, and then you say, Penklin told me to buy this stock now, it has dropped. And clients actually rarely come back when they go up. They only come back to when the prices drop. So it's also good that, invest in a stock, do research, invest in a stock that you're comfortable about, and you also have hope or potential in that is going actually to be beyond where you've bought at. I hope it answers the question, Susan.
Yes, it does. Thank you. And Jovi, I'm sure that you've in the past 15 years, you have seen people that come and are rushing to sell. They are panicking. They are saying today, you have to ensure my stock has gone through. Have you experienced those moments? And why do investors really rush to sell and not hold on to their stocks maybe for the long haul? But how has been your experience? Maybe you can also share some of those examples of panic selling.
Thank you, Susan. First of all, we need to find out like panic selling. If we measure panic selling, what do we mean? So here, when we say panic selling, this is why investors rapidly sell their shares because of fear rather than careful analysis. So why, ask yourself, why are investors, why are they selling their shares? So most cases, actually, they sell because they want to save the remaining value. Like the share is dipping, so they feel like the best thing to do, let me sell now so that I save the remaining value than losing out everything. So they do panic sell mainly because they fear further losses. That is the main cause. there is no any other. Because remember, we all invest here to make money. So if I've invested to make money, and now the money that I'm making, I'm just losing it. So why not panic to sell so that I save the remaining value? So we can see like some of the causes to why there are dips in the market. Like it may be because of corporate action, the company has done a profit warning, someone like, this company, there is no future in it, let me sell. And then we also see like change of management. We can see this with it happened actually, I think, during the MTN, when we was changed immediately after the IPO. And for all the years, it's him that we knew. So I think we were like, how can MTN be there without Wing? So when he was changed and taken to another country, most investors like maybe also not looking at the bigger picture of the company and just looking at the person. So they ended up selling because they couldn't see MTN without what? Without him. So Susan, yeah, basically people sell because they do panic sales because they want to save the remaining value of their holdings. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much, Jovia. To Penguin, borrowing. Some people are borrowing money to invest in shares because they think that it's maybe a quick shortcut for them to grow their wealth a lot faster. What are the risks involved with people, trying to borrow money and then come and bring that money into the stock market? What will the risks will they face, and what will cause what Jovia is even actually hinting on? Yeah. Borrowing money to buy shares. Have you seen it, and what damage can it do for our shareholders here?
Thank you, Susan. Yes, I've seen it. Some clients have actually, it's like betting. You borrow money, come and invest in a stock, counting on it that actually the share price is going to go up, but there is a risk in there. And in that way, because that the share prices are volatile, they can go up and they can go down. You've gotten a loan from somewhere, of course, with interest to be paid at the end of the period. And you invest in a stock. If the price drops, then in the end, a client is going to lose the capital that they invested, yet they also have to pay interest at the end of the day to the person that lent them the money. And then also that leads to panic selling, like how Jovia was speaking about it, because for example, you've taken out a loan for a specific period, say a year, and you bought into the stock. It goes up, and then you're like, okay, there's still potential. I can wait until end of year when I'm to pay out the loan, and then I'll be able to cover. And 2 months before the loan payment, the prices drop, and you're forced to sell at a loss. You have to cover the other side of the loan, and then also you hear accounting losses because of the drop in the prices. So in the end, one is into debt. So it's best that, given that the shares is a long-term venture, you look at growing your wealth over time. It's best that you put in the money that you tied it in there for a long time, so that when the prices go up, then you're able to benefit of that, rather than borrowing to invest in shares. You're borrowing at a fixed rate and you're investing in something that is volatile. So it's best that invest, borrow and invest. If you're to borrow and invest in a fixed investment where you know that at the end of the day you're going to retain your borrowed capital and then also interest on top of it. And then also because of that panic selling, one needs to selling at margins, because you're only looking at covering back the loan that you borrowed. So it's not recommended that you actually borrow and then invest in shares, because of the share price volatility and the risk that entails therein.
That is true. Thank you so much, Pinklin. Actually, as Pinklin was sharing, I was reminded of the time when I had just entered the market, and that was that's 2013, and that was also shortly after, maybe it was just about a few years, maybe 4 to 5 years since the Safaricom IPO had happened. So you find that in Uganda, we had the success of the Stanbic Uganda IPO because the share price came in at a relatively good price, and then it shot up all the way to 70. People were quickly able to sell off and make some good return. So immediately as Stanbic was ending, also Safaricom was coming on board, and everyone was like, yeah, this is really going to be a good investment. I mean, it's the biggest telco. At that time, it was the biggest telco in Kenya, in even East Africa, if you could call it. They had the M-Pesa already rolling. So people went, and actually many Ugandans borrowed a lot of money to be able to invest in that particular IPO. But for it now, the reverse happened. The moment the shares were listed on the market, the share price moved all the way from 5 Kenya shillings all the way down to 2.5 Kenya shillings. And it was at that level for a significant period of time. Even when I entered the market, the price was still significantly low. And so you find that it's now after, I think after 2014, 15, that actually we started seeing the price change and move. So just for the investors that are here, I know that really during IPO time, usually it's the time for us to buy in bulk and come and really get a significant portion, but you really must time that particular investment, because if you find that you're heavily loaded up with debt, you'll find that you're going to have to borrow even more money from other people to pay back the people that you borrowed from, or even you may have to be forced to sell the entire stock and then get back half of the money, and then but thank God for some of them, they were able to hold. Some of the investors were able to hold and find other ways of paying off people that they had borrowed from, and then they were smiling to the bank in 2015 and 2016, 17, 18. Those were really good years for the Safaricom stock. So just keep that in mind as you are operating in this particular market. So I'll move over to our SCD manager, that is Bob. And so we have seen also clients make mistakes, particularly also on their depository accounts. Even despite several communications to investors where we send out emails, we did put out in the newspapers, please come and bring your physical certificates to the exchange. Tell us, Bob, what is dematerialization? What does it mean? What does it mean for investors to still be holding their certificates right now? Those are people probably that are holding Stanbic share certificates, New Vision, Uganda Clays, British American Tobacco. Those are all the companies where certificates are still out there. National Insurance Corporation certificates are still there. The only companies that came during the depository environment is Umeme, QCIL, MTN, Airtel. So those ones don't have MTA. So only about 4 to 5 stocks do not have certificates, but the rest have certificates. So what is dematerialization, and what does it mean for investors right now who still have share certificates?
Susan, thank you very much for that. Maybe I think I've seen comments, and it appears the audience is interested in seeing their presenters. I hope the team can see me.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, so to our audience, thank you very much for making the time. So Susan, before I answer dematerialization and a bit about share certificates, I also wanted to point out some of the other challenges and issues that we see from the depository point of view.
Yes.
So the depository is really about recording and managing ownership at the exchange. So if we do not have the right records, it either means your ownership can be compromised, but also it means you'd also get a challenge as an investor to prove your ownership. And these things are really not complicated. I'll just take you through about four or five points, then I'll answer the dematerialization point. So when we are opening accounts, the common mistakes around that is when people do not submit consistent data. So for example, I'm called Musinguzi Bob Mugisha. I know all my IDs and the others have that. But maybe I have my work ID, which only has Musinguzibo. Either they couldn't fit a third name or for whatever reason. So now I put Musinguzibo. So what happens after 2-3 years, I come with my national ID, they tell me, you know what? Musinguzibo is different from Musinguzibo Mugisha. Or you don't supply all the right details. You put a wrong bank account or you put a bank account number which either no longer exists or you hold jointly with somebody. So you find if we don't get it right from the start, we are going to get inconvenienced. And guess what? The point you'll get inconvenienced at a point of need. You're here now, maybe you have an urgent need of money and you're trying to sell your shares. They're telling you, but Musinguzibo is not Musinguzibo Mugisha who is selling. So now you can imagine, especially when you're distressed or you're in urgent need and you're trying to understand this guy who is telling you that you're not you. And I am sure my colleagues, Penklin and Jovia, can relate on when we are dealing with those matters. Now, another key one, and I believe Jovia hinted on it, is updating. You know, KYC, or what in our language we call know your customer from our perspective, but for you, it's your personal details. They change over time. Some of us, especially on the ladies' side, you get married, you want to take up your husband's name, or for whatever reason, you change your bank account, you change your phone number. Now, it is very important that as you make these changes in your life, you also update on your investment life. If I've changed my bank account, let me let the exchange through the broker to know. Changed my phone and all those. So you want to make sure your investment life is updated with your actual and real life. Now, the other important one, and I've seen most of us do it, is around joint ownership. I think all our local languages have proverbs around how it is easier to move with others. So now it is not a bad thing, but you need to be very aware of two matters. The first one is how do you run a joint account or a joint investment? So some of us will say all of us to sign. So you find we are 2, we are 3. Now down the road, a colleague immigrates, guy goes to Canada. So what do you think is going to happen when you want to transact? It is going to be painful. Now, so you want to make the right decision around how you operate that account. Do you all sign? Is it any of you to sign? What does it mean for trust issues? Another colleague of yours is going to come and sell off everything before you know it. So you need to make the right decisions along that route. Now, the other aspect to this is what happens when one of us, unfortunately, let's say, passes on. Have we specified what will happen to those things or those investments or assets? So it is key. Normally, lawyers assist on this, or even you yourselves, you can draft and say, you know what, I am investing with Susan. But Susan contributed 60%, I contributed 40%. Therefore, can we add a document to show that in case of any eventuality, then my 40% maybe should go to my beneficiaries, and the 60% goes to Susan's beneficiaries. So that is key and important to also think about as we are doing these investments. Now, there is another, I think the other aspect we would look at is how do we transfer or delegate this wealth to move on. Most of us have loved ones who would want some of these things to pass on to. So can we arrange for that? Can we, on our side, normally the first one that comes to mind is a will. Can we create these documents? I know from an African perspective, most of us fear that if you make a will, you die. I don't know. But also, even if you don't make it, you'll also still die. So either way, you'd rather prepare and ensure that at least there are instructions on how to handle this passing on of this wealth. Now, the other sad one around this point is that most people hide these details. I invest in shares. I neither tell anybody in my life. And guess what? People I pass on, and assets are there redundant. Nobody is taking them up. So you can imagine what that means. You had and wealth just getting forgotten by history. And ultimately, these things will end up with the government at one point or the other. Now, the last other three, I would just try to gloss over as we try to keep track of time, is record keeping. Now, most of us form relationships with our brokers, Franklin here and Jovia here. So you find I have been dealing with Jovia for the last 10 years. I do not even know my SCD number. All I know is, hey, by the way, Jovia, I want to buy more shares. You make it happen. How much do I need to send you? Now, yes, it's good to have a relationship with your broker, but you also need to keep your own records. What is my SCD number? How are my holdings? How do I buy? Because guess what? Jovia is going to move tomorrow. Now you're going to call either Jovia's phones are off and say, man, I used to do those things. That lady disappeared with my things. No, the things are yours. Keep your own records so that as and when you need to do your transaction, you can just call your broker, who maybe SBG or Old Mutual, even if Franklin is no longer there, and you're able to transact because you have your details. So some bit of record keeping is very important. I think the other one I would also want to look at is in regards to also try to reconcile. If you keep in your records, you're saying, okay, the other month I bought 100. Now I'm buying another 500. So how much do I have? Is it what is on my statement? Maybe you gave your broker instructions for whatever reason. So a different figure was transacted. I'm not saying they do errors or that, but you also want to make sure the records there are matching with what you believe you have done. I saw somebody raising a comment around the Easy Portal. I think we have been in the process of updating it, but we would also still encourage you that with these online channels, it's also important to also have access to them. And why? So that you can also do some bit of self-service and you keep track of your investment as we try to make your investment life easy. Yeah, I think there's some public demand about the statements on the Easy Portal. So if some of you have been aware of communications from the market, we have been updating our system. I think the last update we did was yesterday. So by Monday, to our investors, your statements should be up and available. So you will be able to generate statements and view your holdings. That I can confirm. So Susan, lastly, back to your question. You talked about dematerialization. So to our audience, dematerialization refers to those investors who bought in the first listed companies that used to give certificates. So what used to happen then were not automated. So they would give you a certificate. If you wanted to sell to Bob your shares, you bring your certificate, give it to Bob's broker. Bob's broker pays your broker, and the certificate is amended to read Bob's details. So we left that and said, now we are automated. So that is where we started with the concept of an SCD account. I believe it has been talked about. So an SCD account is an online account similar to a bank account, but it holds your shares on the exchange. So for you to be able to trade going forward on your shares, you must have an account, and those certificated shares must be turned into electronic. So if you do not dematerialize, it means you can't trade. So if you can't trade, it means you might not be able either to buy more or get value out of your holdings. Then also for record purposes, remember the certificate does not have your phone number, does not have one. So now when we are trying to communicate to you, or your company that you invested in wants to communicate to you, it won't have that ability. And to come back to what I talked about succession, I think the poll we did, or the survey, some of you are saying you lost your certificate. Now you see that's a problem, a side effect of holding them in a certificate form. But when you've translated them, opened an account, put them into e-shares, then whether the certificate is there or not, your account will always have your holdings. And lastly, in case you want to buy more, you can't buy any more certificates, because these companies by law are no longer allowed to issue more certificates. So you can only buy on the market, and you need to have an account. So Susan, those are the challenges of sticking with certificates and not converting them into shares. Maybe lastly, I saw somebody who said they lost their certificates. Please reach out to the broker. We have mechanisms for replacing certificates. So Susan, I submit.
Thank you so much, Bob. Actually, as Bob was sharing, when still working with the brokerage, the broker side, there was this investor, particularly at the time, when they started investing jointly with a girlfriend. But the girlfriend who used not to contribute the money, he was the one contributing all the money that was coming through. So, of course, when the years passed, they are now, of course, broken up, and then he now wanted to sell the shares. But of course, now when it came to sell the shares, we said that now we need also the other person's signature. And so when now we said the other person has to sign, so going to talk to her like, you know what, I need to sell the shares. And she says, if you're selling the shares, I also need 50% of whatever is going to be the value. And then he was like, but it was me who was always putting all the money. You never put anything. So you find that those shares actually up to today, they are still stuck. They are there. The person said, okay, now it's okay. Let's just leave everything. So because he also couldn't fathom giving this person what belonged to him. But yet at that time when they were investing, he was happy to open up a joint account with her and really start life. So please, when you are starting up, especially for joint accounts that are really, really, really sensitive, please, let's ensure that we are using wisdom. Usually joint accounts, like Bob has hinted, usually it's best with spouses, marital spouses, married, at least that is much, much, much better than the girlfriend and the boyfriend, because now we have shares that we'll never be able to trade just because someone has to be able to come and make that other signature. So thank you so much, Bob. But maybe, Bob, staying with you just briefly, people are asking, can they open up, because there are people that were asking that they don't have an SCD account. Can someone be able to open up an SCD account using the USSD platform, and if using the SIM card that is even not registered in their names? You find that maybe someone wants to just open up an SCD account for their children, but they know that the children have not yet received a national ID as yet. Can they be able to open up an account for the kids? And then for those that really have their national ID details, what will that process look like for them?
Thank you, Susan. So, yes, for minors, we all know minors. Minors by law cannot contract. So what we provide for is an interest of, or in our language, we call it ITF. So if I want to open for my daughter an account, then it will be Bob opening the account on behalf of the daughter. Normally the requirements we need are my details and the child's birth certificate and a photo. Now this you cannot open online. A reason being those requirements. So you find you have to work with a broker to set that up. I don't have an ID for whatever reason, but Susan, my friend, bought me a line. Yes, online you will open the account. The challenge is it will read Susan's details.
Yeah.
So now, could you go ahead and transact online? Yes, but you'll be required to clean this up. Otherwise, you've made Susan richer. Sorry, guys, I think I had blocked the camera. So please, we would advise that you wait to get your details and open, because we have sometimes, I believe, you end up being like court. I be seated here and I'm acting like saying, but this person had given me their line, so now I open, these things are mine. But for me on paper, what I can see, they belong to Susan. So now you don't want to go through that, and an investment really is something that is important and pertinent to you. So you'd rather, instead of rushing, give it 6 months or so and get your national ID and then come and transact. Yeah, so that's what would advise. So somebody asked about USSD. I believe my colleague John has posted the links in the chat. You should see something in that chat there showing you. So we use MTN, Airtel on USSD. We will also, actually, good things are coming. I think soon, without letting certain things out of the basket, we'll be going on other channels, the Easy Portal, I think, to give people reassurance again. We'll be back on for some of you who want to use that. Especially, I'm seeing some attendees from Kenya that is online on our website. You can open, and other revamped channels will be coming on board. But yes, you can open online USSD, but also on the app soon.
Thank you
Yes,
so
Susan.
much, Bob. Maybe just a quick question from Mr. Sechikubo, Michael Roland. He has ITF accounts, and he's saying that for his ITF accounts, he's not able to see them on his side as a primary investor. How can we best advise him that on the Easy Portal?
Yeah, so that is something we are aware of. So one of the enhancements that are in the process is enabling the linkage of those accounts to like the primary. So if it is Bob and I have my daughter and I open for an account, then soon we should be enabling that functionality to let me link my daughter's account to my profile, so that when I log on, I can view.
Okay, thank you so much. To our panelists, I'm already seeing certain questions that are already answering our questions. And just to go back to what Bob has said, Bob has reiterated what Jovia said. Most of us are buying shares. We are using people's lines to be able to buy shares. But guess what? When you use someone's line to open up an account and continuously buy shares, those shares actually don't belong to you. They belong to the person whose names they are in. So even though you come and kick and scream at the broker's office or the Uganda Securities Exchange, if Susan Namaganda bought for Bob, we do not know Bob. We know Susan Namaganda. So please just follow up with NIRA, get your national ID, and ensure that you buy yourself your shares in your own names. Maybe Jovia, Annette was saying that she's asking here that she has failed she wants to always invest her dividends automatically, but has failed to do so. How can you be able to advise her on the process? Yeah. Jovia?
Thank you, Susan. If I start on my video, probably look at simple videos, okay? Hope I
Okay,
can be seen. Okay, so when it comes to investing, reinvesting your dividends, remember dividends go direct to the client's account or mobile number. So we have no say on the dividend. So what she can do is to get the money once she has received it, either via bank or mobile, and then deposit it on our collection account. So once you deposit it on our collection account, then you instruct us to buy you more shares. That's the best way. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Then Joel Kalunji Kalule is asking also, maybe this is to Penklin as well. What is the process of changing a broker and my bank account? Someone, Joel, I don't know which broker you want to leave, but maybe it's a de facto broker. But why would you be leaving your broker? But what is the process, Penklin, if you could quickly share for us? And then also maybe Penklin, as you answer that question, also Juliet is asking that after they have opened their ACD account, what is the minimum required to keep it active? Penklin.
Thank you, Susan.
Yeah.
So after you've opened an account, I'll start with the last one for Juliet. After you've opened an account, the minimum investment amount is 100,000. You can always buy anytime. It's not a one-time investment. You can always top up. And then to the one that was asking about changing brokers, there are some forms that you fill out. There are transfer forms that you fill out for the broker where you're moving from and to the broker that you're moving to, and you have them signed and stamped. Then the account is moved to the new broker. Thank you.
And then amending bank account. You also wishes to amend bank account details. Yeah. Okay.
For account amendment, you also engage with your broker to have the accounts updated. You fill out a form, submit. It's different broker to broker. They require different documents, but the basic minimum is your national ID, passport photo, to have your details updated. Thank you. This can also be done via the US Easy portal. You can be able to amend the details on your end, upload all supporting documents, then the broker will be able to verify and have the documents amended.
Okay. Thank you so much. So also maybe some people are asking, we have been talking about research. Where do we get this research? So as Jovia and Penklin have really hinted, is that yes, before you make an investment decision, you must have done research. But the beauty of our stock market is that you do not have to do the research yourself. At SBG Securities, at Old Mutual Uganda, and also at the other brokerage firms, they are full-time investment analysts, someone who is fully paid to do the analysis. And guess what? These brokerage firms are channeling out such excellent research. But the challenge is that our investors are not subscribing to the different material that is being shared on a month-to-month, weekly, daily basis. So some of us also have felt that maybe the information is too much and you've unsubscribed. That's now why you're no longer getting the information. But guess what? The brokerage firms are putting out excellent reports. So there is no excuse that there is no research out there. It is you just a matter of picking up your call, submitting your email address. Of course, if you prefer, you can tell them that maybe you prefer a weekly instead of a daily report, or maybe you'd prefer a monthly report, that's much better for you, or maybe the sector reports that they usually release. But for our brokers, those ones, I will defend them. They're really releasing their research. Even they have been here on the platforms to be able to showcase that particular research. So please, already even Penklin has taken an email of one of us, I think reached out to Elizabeth. Please reach out to the brokers and they'll be able to add you onto those mailing lists. You don't have to do that research. It's already being done on your behalf. Someone is asking Penklin that I am a Kenyan, I'm unable to trade online shares directly through the US. I've informed I have to send money to the broker and give them instructions before the investment. How can he be able to do this? Because he's in Kenya and he wants to be able to trade the shares online. How can you be able to advise him? That is Faisal Mulama.
Thank you, Susan and Faisal Mulama. You can buy and sell shares through the USEC portal, and the funds will go off your account to the broker's account details. But then also, once you've done that, stockbroker also has to verify the order on their end. They may reach out to you to update their KYC as and when, depending on the status of your account.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Then also someone is asking, Jovia, if I buy shares via MTN Momo, can the proceeds be paid to my bank account directly once I sell them? So for example, I've now been using Momo to buy my shares, but at any one time when I choose to sell those shares, I want to receive my money through the bank and not Momo. Is that possible?
Thank you for that question. Yet it's very possible. We can pay you via your bank. You decide which mode of payment you want. If mobile, we'll transfer to your mobile. If it's bank, we'll pay to your bank account that you provided on the sale order form. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, thank you, Jovi. Penklin, Annie is asking, does the SCD work for both treasury bonds and shares? Yeah, for you who is doing both for the clients, she's asking, does this SCD account, can she use it both for treasury bonds and shares?
Thank you, Susan. Yes, Anne, the ACD works for both shares and bonds, and after you've traded any of them, they'll be uploaded. You'll be able to view them on your Easy Portal statement.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you so much, Penklin. So also there's someone who asked about ETFs. We soon having ETFs. I think it was Elizabeth. Yes, that is something that is an upcoming soon. So we'll keep you keep your ears to the ground. The moment that is released, then we will definitely have a webinar in order to be able to introduce ETFs to you. But for now, you can be starting with a share so that you understand them. Then ETFs will then become much easier for you to understand, because ETFs are really what is their basis is really the shares and the bonds that are underlying. Yeah. So then someone is saying that I bought my shares of Airtel. Of course, you're saying that Old Mutual Pinky is your broker, but up to now, they have never received anything like a statement. Now, 2 years down the road, Bosco, I think Pinklin is going to answer you. And it goes, maybe Bob, you want to answer something before Pinklin comes in to answer Bosco, and then we shall immediately go into wrap up. Yes, Bob.
Yes, Susan, thank you. Yeah, I wanted to kind of demystify something around research. So just in simple language, research is just background information, let's say, about a company. So if we have a company like Airtel, so normally what our brokers and other market intermediaries do is they will give you some background. They will tell you the business Airtel is in, the prospects of them to make money or not make money. And also once in a while, they might even give a direction for which you as an investor should take. Sometimes they will tell you that, okay, based on where it is right now, if you're able to buy. Or maybe they might tell you that if you are thinking of selling it, maybe this is not the right time. So that is part of what goes in research. So it's just background and details of the company that you would want to get involved in or invest in. So it shouldn't feel like these research papers we used to write in university. No, this just really details around the company, and in some cases with directions on which to take, buy, hold, sell.
Yes.
And so that's what research is all about.
Wow.
Susan,
Thank you
back to
so much. Thank you so much. And Bob's response was to the majority of us, including Marvin, who was asking what goes into that research. So, Franklin, back to you. This Bosco is saying that he has not seen his Airtel shares, but I also know what the answer is. But feel free to share.
Sorry, Susan, how may repeat that? I missed it.
Yes, so this person specifically is an Old Mutual client. That's Bosco. He bought all Airtel shares, but he's saying he has not received anything up to now. But I think I know why. It's because I think he has not accessed the system. But I think you can respond to him. Yeah.
Susan? Thank you, Susan. You've actually responded. So I think Bosco can share his contact or email address and we engage. Possibly hasn't checked his SCD account and we'll be able to advise according to the status of the account. But if the shares were bought, we are definitely there and we'll share the statement. Thank you.
But I think he has them because he receives dividends. At least he has not said he has not received dividends. So Bosco, the Easy Portal is available. And for all of us that are here, I know most of us, technology is not our best friend. We become lazy. We really don't want to check, but these are your assets. I know some of you have really been practicing. I mean, if you can check your mobile money statement, this is also one of those that you can easily, quickly check. The Easy Portal is there. It has been built. It is being developed. They're even adding things. There are even more things that are going to be released probably at the tail end of July and August. And so wouldn't want these same questions to keep coming in. And yet actually the platforms are there for you to be able to see your particular shares. So Penguin, people asking, what is the minimum to buy if I'm selling shares, do I sell on my preferred price or on the price of the market, of the current market? That is Kamala Marvin. And then someone is also asking, what is the minimum to invest in government bonds? So those are two questions for you, Penguin.
Thank you, Susan. I'd actually dropped a chat to respond to Marvin about the selling price. Yes, you can sell on your preferred price, provided it's within the trading limits of plus or minus 10% from the previous trading session. So if, for example, MTN is now trading at 425, you can trade above 10% from where it is now, or you can trade below 10% from where it is trading at the moment. Thank you.
Okay, so there is Sylvia that is saying, well done. She's inquiring, does that I typing error in my name via phone number bear any future troubles for my SBG account? Currently, all transactions are flowing well. For example, not real name, SIM is Sylvia Helen Kagwa, and that is Sylvia with a in capital, Helen Kagwa in small letters, then SBG. At SBG, you have it as Sylvia. That means SLYLIVIA Helen Kagwa. So Jovia, she's saying that everything is flowing well. Hopefully, she doesn't have the SIM. The SIM has one less by I, and then at SBG you have an extra I. So she's saying everything is working well. Does she need to come in and amend?
Yes, Sylvia, you'll have to come in and amend your details because it has to match with what is on the national ID. So kindly drop by and we amend your details. Yeah. And like also Paitley mentioned, you can also do it via the Easy Portal. We'll just verify so that it's approved by the exchange.
Okay. So Anna Marie, you have some questions about the depository. We're going to drop an email for the depository in the chat shortly, so we can be able to help you in regards to correction of, I think, is it error when you submitted errors, an error that needed to be adjusted. So we shall be able to send you an email so that you can get in touch with us. Then I tried buying shares via Momo. The amount was deducted, but I did not receive the shares. Unfortunately, I followed up after a while and I could not get a statement from MTN. How can I retrieve my money, all the shares? Bob, that is from Alemi Emmanuel. I think he bought probably before end of day, and his purchase did not come through the system.
Okay, thank you, Susan. I will ask our colleague John to type in our email depository at usa.or.ug. So please feel free to send us your details, the date you transacted, the phone number you transacted on, and your SCD number. Then for us, we will do the reconciliations and trace your funds for you. And for anybody on the call, as long as if you have a matter that you would want us to help with, that is our email. Feel free to send us a line with your query or clarification, and the team at the depository will be available and willing to support and resolve that query on your behalf.
Okay, so thank you so much. So we do not want to take any more time. I don't want us to go past 11:30, but just as a quick takeaway, Penguin, you have something to say before you give us? Yes, Bentley.
Thank you, Susan. Since
Mm.
most of the attendants had actually indicated that they already have SCD accounts and they are trading, I also would like to clear the difference between trading and settlement. Most of the times we get concerns or queries from clients about them posting orders and they actually think that they actually bought the shares. Yet on Easy Portal, you're placing a purchase order or a sale order, which are brokers to verify, and then thereafter trade. So the trade can only occur after you received a trading status from the USE depository or even a contract note from the broker. And then other concerns always about I've traded, but I've not seen the shares reflect on my Easy Portal. Now, after we've traded, the settlement cycle takes 3 days. So once you trade today, it takes 3 working days for the shares to reflect on the SCD account. And as a shareholder, you should be able to see the holdings on your Easy Portal within the next day after the settlement. Yeah, Susan, that's the clarity I wanted to put across between trading and actual settlement of the shares. Thank you.
Okay, then maybe just also to respond here to Muhammad Shinobe, he's saying that he has placed his orders, but sometimes he's told there is no supply. What could be causing the issue? And then also Kellen is asking what is the minimum she can invest in a treasury bond? Yeah.
Okay, thank you. The shares market is mainly driven by forces of demand and supply. There are times when you find there are many buyers and no sellers, especially if, for example, a company has been performing well, or maybe they've declared a good dividend, it's not yet a book closure date. So you'll find that existing shareholders still want to hold on those shares so that they can benefit off the dividend. So if you place, for example, a purchase order at that time, that it may take a while before it is executed. And most of the times always engage also clients to amend the orders as and when their price changes or if there are any other good investment opportunities in the market. And then for bonds trading through the Old Mutual, our minimum investment amount is 10 million. Thank you, Susan. I don't know if you need me to go into the details of why that amount, but Old Mutual minimum investment amount for bonds is 10 million. Thank you.
Maybe you can explain to them, because some of them were expecting maybe to say 100,000. What would be the difference? Why is it that it's 10 million for Old Mutual?
Thank you. Why it is that is because we already have a unit trust fund whose minimum investment amount is 100,000 and it's withholding tax exempted. Whereas bonds attract withholding tax. So if you're to look at the return, if you're to advise the client, investing 100,000 in a bond wouldn't make as much investment sense than if it was invested in the unit trust. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Thank you so much, Benklin, for that. And actually, so at Old Mutual, it's at 10 million. But if you think that maybe you cannot raise up to that amount, and you would want to start with a unit trust, feel free to sign up also with Old Mutual. But if you say that I want to really start with 100,000 for bonds, then you can reach out to the other brokers, Dyer and Crested, and they'll be able to help you take up that particular minimum. The Captain Firoz said that we are not answering his question. So I went and I ensured that I looked for his question. And he's saying, and this I think is to Bob, why is it that I never received a regular routine share statement from the CSD, from the SCD? Yeah. So Bob, you can respond to Captain. Yeah.
Okay, so Captain, I didn't thank you for ensuring that came to our attention. So there is an option to get that statement physically, which you can invoke and request for it. It would be emailed to you. But with technology, for both the phone and online, you're in position really to track your holdings. And one reason why we went for self-service was assuming you had something urgent you're doing and you put in a request and maybe somebody is going to answer you the next day. We feel it is much more efficient for you to just log on and do it for yourself. So assuming you have an MTN phone number registered onto your account, just by dialing *165 *65 and look at a mini statement, you will get your last 5 transactions. Now, if you want something longer, as I was confirming, because we had in the process of updating the statement functionality on Easy Portal, then for the last 3 months or so, we had put it down, but by Monday it will be up and running, and there you can print it for as long as you want. So we felt that was a better way of serving you, but still the ability to reach out to your broker or the exchange itself through the depository at use.or.ug, you can still get your statement.
Thank you so much. Then this is the last to Diana. You're insisting, do we have an S&P 500 equivalent in Uganda? No, we do not have. We don't have. However, we have our index as the USC. The US maybe actually we do have, but it's not called S&P if that's what you want to know. But we do have the USE index that actually comes out on our USE reports that even the brokers also do track. So that means it gives you, since our companies, we do not have S&P, they are really very specific that they only take up maybe the maybe 100 companies, 50 companies, but for us our indices take up all the several listed companies that are there, about 18 of them. Then you'll find that maybe it is specifically the East African index that we have that now particularly picks out the top 10 companies in the entire East African region, so that you'll be able to access on those market reports that are issued by the Uganda Securities Exchange, even as we do issue out reports that come out on a monthly basis. But also we do have the brokers also being able to track if it's the index specifically that you want. Yeah, but if you want in terms of the type of range of the companies, or we have technology on its own, that one you may not be able to see, but we have our index. And maybe someone any other queries that you do have, please do send them through to depository at use.or.ug, especially technology SCD related inquiries. Then for the rest of the questions that you may have, John is going to now drop the USC Academy email for us to be able to send through the questions, and we can quickly we are able to answer them as we go forward. But as we close, maybe Penklin and Jovia, any parting shot? What are you telling our investors for the we are going into the next half of the year starting in July? What should they expect in terms of the equities market? What should they be looking at out? And what should they pay specific attention to in order to ensure that these mistakes do not keep on reoccurring? We shall start with you, Penklin, then go to Jovia.
Thank you, Susan. Yes, so from me to the investors is that we need to be intentional and be more disciplined investors. And being disciplined doesn't mean that, you need to outsmart the market, know where the prices will be, what is happening next. No, it all starts with us. Have our behaviors right, update our account information, do research so that we make informed decisions. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you, Susan.
Jovia. Thank you so much, Jovia.
To me, to our investors on the call, is that we need to stop, especially now that we are going in the second half of the year. Let us stop procrastinating, telling ourselves we don't have enough money. Let me wait to accumulate enough so that I get to buy. Start small with what you have. They say one by one makes a bundle. If you have this habit or discipline of every month you tell yourself, I'm going to be putting, let me say, like get 5%, 10%, 15%, depending on how much you earn, and grow my portfolio. Trust me or your portfolio will grow without any hassle. And let us avoid time in the market. Now see what is happening currently right now. We are timing because now NIC has been there for a long time. None of us have been buying. So because of announcement that we had now, we are all trying to do what to buy, let us have the discipline of having a long-term investment horizon whereby we buy every month and stop waiting to accumulate a lot. Yeah, action changes things. So please start now. Thank you. And thank you for joining the call, everyone.
Thank you so much, Jovia. Jovia, for your submission. Bob, I know we have queries about the depository, and we are going to have a webinar specifically for SCD issues. So do not worry, that is coming up in July. We're going to be talking about technology type here. We're going to take you step by step through everything regarding the depository. Bob, any parting shot for our members before I invite Sarah?
Okay. Yeah, so really from me is and as long as we have one accurate and up-to-date details, then we believe there will not be any issues on ownership. And ultimately, you all know we invest so that we can get a return. So we should be keen to make sure that something as simple as updating details should not jeopardize our ownership. So please, let's endeavor to start it with the accurate information, but also update. Then ultimately on the other side, let's provide for ensuring how these assets can be passed on. And by this is not only on say investments on the exchange. You have a piece of land, you bought it, either you never transferred the title, it will still come to disturb you. You did not, or you decided to hide it somewhere where people will never find it unless if you're the one looking for it. So let's put in place those mechanisms for succession or even transferring that wealth. And trust me, then whatever you worked hard for will have meaning at the end of the day. So for me, I'd say those are my parting shots. But otherwise, as Susan indicated, this series will continue and will continue bringing the exchange to you, the investor, because the exchange cannot be an exchange if there are no investors. And investors must know how the exchange works to make it meaningful for them. So we thank you. Susan, back to you.
Thank you so much, Bob, for really addressing all the questions that we had here. Over to you, Sarah. We invite Sarah. Sarah is a manager for the USE Academy. So all the classes, someone was asking, when can we have a master class? I think it was Omoni Cyrus in regards to bonds. So Sarah has the answers for you. Over to you, Sarah.
Oh, thank you so much, Susan. Actually, looking at the time, I think mine will be just a vote of thanks. Thank you so much, our moderator, Susan. You did us so well. Our panelists, Bob, Penklin, and Jovia, you are awesome. Thank you so much. And then our attendees, thank you for being on this call. Without you attending, we wouldn't really proceed. So thank you so much. Keep inviting other people. I have seen the numbers growing every other time that we have these webinars, and that is a beautiful thing. So we delight in continuing to share knowledge as the USC Academy. We want to close all knowledge gaps as much as we can. And I am happy to announce that the next webinar will be on the 25th. That is good timing. The budget will be out, so you can be able to get more insights into the bonds and all other investments. So it is good timing. Be prepared, be expectant, invite other people to join in. At some point, I saw the class full, like the place was full, and it is a good thing. We are progressing. The numbers are really good. So thank you for attending. Thank you for making it happen. About the master classes, we are having a master class at the beginning of August. We have 2 master classes, investment management, and then ESG disclosures and sustainability integration. So just in case you need to expand your knowledge and attain that certificate, you could register through that email that John earlier shared. And then you register for the master classes, though they come at a very friendly fee, which is a part of your investment. So invest in your learning, and the USE Academy will not disappoint. So that is it about the master classes. Finally, thank you all. Thank you for being on the call. Thank you, our moderators, the panelists. Thank you, John, for mobilizing, for reaching out. I appreciate you for my own behalf and on behalf of the USE Academy. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you so much, everyone. I'm dropping now the contacts again for the brokers, all the 5 brokers that we have on the market. Meanwhile, don't just buy shares from anyone. Not everyone has a license. It is only the 5 brokers that you are seeing, that is all Mutual Uganda, SBG Securities, Crested Capital, Dyer and Blair, and Cheaper Cash Uganda. Those are the only licensed people that can help you, or institutions that can help you to ensure that you are engaged in our particular market. Please, any depository questions, please, John is about to drop again the depository email. Everything concerning SCD is a portal. Please feel free to share with us so that we can be able to assist you. Already we are receiving some of those, so we're going to be reaching out to you shortly after this particular presentation. So thank you so much for joining us. The next webinar is on the 25th of June, and it will be specifically on the bond market, looking at the year that was, that is because the calendar has come to an end. Today the budget reading, so I'm sure we shall have a new calendar by next week that will be coming. So that means we should get ready for the new calendar. So we shall look at how 2025 was, how people benefited from the different bond investments, and now looking ahead to 2026 for people to prepare for the new auction calendar. Thank you so much and have a great weekend. Yeah. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.